2020 pushes much desired reforms, but the challenge lies in implementation. Like the NEP is not a law in itself, rather it is more of a framework for creating laws. The government will need to pass legislation to various aspects of the NEP, and lawmakers will need to strongly consider how private funding of education can be improved. And so they can either allow for much greater flexibility for institutions to raise, invest, and create a corpus fund that can be used for research and educational purposes. Or, sir, they should consider allowing private for profit investment in education. Only then we can be closer to realizing our goals of better quality education for all. So I think that's my question, whether we are going to implement it successfully, as it is framed very beautifully, and it was really very much desired. This type of education policy is really wonderful, but the question is its implementation. Thank you so much, sir.
As well, along with the equity and access. So how, we are going to ensure that when these students come to the senior schools, there is a smooth transition? That is my question. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Shabana Rehan, can we have Shabana Rehan, please?
Hello, sir. Good evening. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, ma'am. Go ahead.
Sir. Yes, I totally agree with what ma'am has said just now. Are we going to have justice regarding this? Because the aim of this policy is to attain optimal outcomes in the domains of physical and motor development, and regarding cognitive development and socio-emotional ethical development. And regarding all these things, we are going to prepare the children for the primary classes. So I just wanted to know how can we assess the development and learning of the children, and what is the role of the CCE teacher in this? Are we going to train our teachers regularly for this purpose? This is the only question I want to know.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think the points that you have raised are very, very valid. I hope Lata ma'am, Sangeeta ji, and Ritu ji are making a note of this because they're going to be very good questions that I can see. We just have 3 of them, but I can bet it's going to get better. Do we have Nilima Kamra on with us?
Yes, sir. I am there.
Ma'am, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Atul-ji, for this platform. I would like to, as all of us know, that national education policy is very, very flexible and trying to give us multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approaches to the curriculum, whether it is removing the boundaries between the sports and the academic, vocational and co-curricular activities. It is giving us a grounded citizen also in turn. Again, a very valid point raised by National Education Policy is that we should teach our students in our mother tongue when they are in primary, and I fully endorse that. Even the qualitative researchers agree with that. But my concern is when we are in metro cities, how we are going to do that when we have one child from Gujarat, another from Haryana, third from Punjab, and fourth from another state. So how to balance the multiple languages in one single classroom, or how we teach them with one single language?
Ma'am, that's a very valid question. We're going to be talking about this in more detail when we talk about the multilingual aspect of the policy. However, I think for this particular webinar, I would request that we stick to ECCE primarily. The other thing I want to comment is, Nilimaji, that the policy actually mentions a very key word, wherever possible. So there is no compulsion for a private school, or for example, Kendriya Vidyalayas have already taken a stand that they will be not instructing in mother tongue, they will be in English. So I think that would happen across India, and you will have the right to choose the language of instruction. Do we have Mrs. Satnam Kaur with us? Okay, do we have Dinesh Subaru with us? Okay, do we have Murthy with us? Murthy MVSS?
Yes, sir, yes.
Murthy ji, please go ahead with your remark.
Sir, with respect to this early childhood education, my question is, where are these teachers being trained? Do we have, what are the authorized training centers, like B.Ed colleges or primary teacher education thing? The Anganwadis and all are also not actually trained to teach. They are basically working on nutrition and all other aspects of the physical well-being. But my question is availability of trained personnel. How are we going to face it? And this is what actually I want to know.
Great, thank you, and that's a very big concern. We'll definitely address that. The experts will address that. Do we have Sita Lakshmi ji?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
This is Sita Lakshmi. I have always felt that if we give importance to preschool education, we will be able to work on the rest of the school in a much better manner. The first time I think the Government of India has taken a lot of initiative on this, and as others have pointed out, it is not just enough to think of line of inquiry at the preschool level, but we have to initiate the steps required for training teachers. We have to Montessori is an excellent methodology to be followed. It works on all aspects of the child. It brings in how to handle differentiated education in the classroom. But if we are not able to take it the right way,
And it has to start from the kindergarten. We cannot wait for them to grow up to 8 and then think, what are the skills and what are the challenges, which the future generation has to face. So what is that roadmap which has been, is it there? And if it is there, then what is that roadmap?
Thank you very much, ma'am. And we have Isha Shonik. Yeah, go ahead, ma'am. Isha Shonik. Sonima, ma'am, go ahead, please.
Very good evening to everyone, and thanks Atulji for inviting me. I feel the policy that has come up, it's really a long-awaited one, and especially for EC, I would say that since NCERT, it's written there, NCERT is going to frame the curriculum for 0 to 3. My question is that whether it would be really like that, because 0 to 3 means the parent would be handling all the affairs in that particular age group, 0 to 3. So what kind of curriculum are we expecting? Since ma'am is there from NCERT, if she could throw the light on that. Thank you.
I will definitely, I think she will do that. Ashima Jairat, do you want to put your comment?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I have one basic question, that is, how is the NCERT going to be tackling, one, the training of the teachers who are going to be looking now after the foundation level, which is from nursery to grade 2. That's the first question. And how are they going to tackle with the strength that is there in each class? Normally in some private as well as public schools, in the first government schools, the strength in each class is very high. So when you're talking to curriculum which is going to be a thematic taught together, so how is the government going to tackle that?
I'm also here, Isha Shonik. I reacted little late.
Not a problem, ma'am. Go ahead.
My question has actually already been raised by a lot of people, and I would like to re-emphasize the difference between the rural and the urban. The requirement is different, so the curriculum, I think, should cater for that. And the main thing is that our teachers need a lot of support and training. So if that doesn't happen, then nothing is successful. Policies are all very good, and this is also very good. but implementation is what I'm.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jan, please go ahead.
Atul, my anxiety is that this 0 to 3 years should be left to the mothers, grandmothers and the family. I think we should not intervene in what is natural instinct and how we all have been raising our children and taking care of the in the initial stages. Next, my anxiety is that this examination, 3, 5 and 8 class, they will put a lot of pressure on our students, children and teachers. And teachers will be teaching only for the examinations, and there will be private tuitions, coaching centers, and all these things will definitely are going to. So I think CCTV can be practiced up to class 8 in a very professional manner. If the teachers are trained, and we have a lot of training, and we already have the experience of doing it when CCTV was there in up to class 10. So at the foundational course also in the first 3 years and then another 2 years is also a question mark, that what kind of foundation we are going to lay to 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, because again they should be naturally allowed to grow. And this directional or too much regulated growth right from so much early, you see the pre-primary schools are all right. But beyond that, if it comes from the NCERT, and India being such a vast country, and there are cities and there are tribal areas and villages and all that, so I think this should also be left to the local people. So the examination should not be there, they should be eliminated completely, because we have been talking 5-10 years ago that there should not be any examinations and this pressure, that pressure. So this stress should be removed, and then the teacher training part is also a big question mark, and this 0 to 3 part, and then the foundational course should also be made easy. A lot of this language part and mathematical skills right at too early a stage is perhaps to my mind not correct. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for putting that question. Anita Vadhera ji, would you like to you have a question, I think. Well, her question was, what will be
good evening, sir. Good evening for this platform, and it is too good like we all are here. So my question is like there is some apprehension in our minds in all the principals, and we are discussing that also. Like, will the entry level be changed? Like, is it going to be 3+ only, or do we need to have another year in the schooling?
So will another additional year of schooling?
Yeah. What will be the entry level in our formal schooling? Like, will it same as it is going on right now?
Okay.
So,
I think that can be addressed.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Aditi Roy ji.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. My question one already has been raised. The 0 to 3 years, what kind of approach is NCERT thinking of giving to our parents? Thinking of when we consider the vast scale where we are considering Anganwadi and all the rural areas also, how is it NCERT is going to give us a detailed approach of that? And the second question is, as it says that till classes 5, there's a standard
childhood education, not only early childhood education, but early childhood care and education is very, very important, because in 2013 and 14, during those 2 years, the Ministry of Women and Child Development has come up with 3 important documents that everybody knows about it: the quality standards and the education policy, National Policy on Early Childhood Education. This is the title, exact title of that document, is able to.
The government must consider adopting a similar model and spreading awareness about the importance of the fluency, the foundational learning and numeracy skills, such as the.
Or they have thought of contact programs where they will be assessed and once again put through training. So these are young people of 10+2 or even lower. 10 plus 2 have a 6 month certification. The lower people will have a 1 year certification. There'll be others who will go through more training. The real question, however, is that in the policy framework itself, we are talking about a 2-year B.Ed system. And
साबुन से हाथ धो लेना पहले.
whether there is a natural preparation, not just whether there is this 2-year B.Ed program or 1-year B.Ed program or even less, all options